Hey gang, welcome to my channel. My name's Gramerson, and today we're going to be doing a car review. Let's get started. Today I'm doing a review of the 2018 Cadillac XTS. Okay, well I'll start with giving you guys a little bit of history. This car means quite a lot to me because my grandparents used to live in Florida, where I am now, and they had, I think, a 2003 Cadillac DeVille, white paint with beige interior, similar to this. And yeah, I remember driving around Florida with them, going to the beach in it. We almost got in a really bad pileup accident in it once, actually. And I was in the middle seat as a kid, and I had, you know, kind of bad gouges on my stomach from the seatbelt, but the car was great. And so it's interesting to me to be essentially in that car's grandchild, I guess, kind of, predecessor. It's a couple generations down the line from the DeVille, but here I am in an XTS a few years later. My initial impressions of the car were very good, honestly. I really like this wood grain finish, the brushed aluminum, which I've noticed they're doing a lot in a lot of the GM vehicles. Wood grain's nice. It does look a little fake, I'll be honest, but the color is really good, along with the chrome and brushed aluminum. Looks really, really nice, I think. It also really goes well with this beige leather interior. It kind of gives it like a beach house kind of experience. Maybe I'm just in Florida and it's kind of infected my brain, but anyway. So yeah, it's been really nice. You know, I got in it, started it up. It took me about only a minute or so to interface with the Q system, get my Android hooked up, and used Android Auto to get to my hotel, and that worked great. Gauge cluster was very easy. It took me a while to figure out all these little buttons on the steering wheel, but I got the hang of it pretty quick. Turn signal works great. There's actually a feature in this gauge cluster that picks up nearby speed limit signs and displays it in your gauge cluster, just in case you don't want to look at the signs. You can just look at your gauge cluster the whole time. It's great. So far down the line, I've been averaging about 24 miles per gallon, which is pretty good. This V6 isn't powerful, but it's enough for this car. I think for an everyday person to drive this thing, it's totally reasonable. 304 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, and 24 miles per gallon. That's not bad. That's pretty good all-around balance, I'd say, especially for how big this car is. Because this car is definitely a full-size vehicle. It looks it from the outside, and it feels it from the inside as well. And it's really nice. Legroom in the back is amazing. And I think it looks pretty good from the outside too. Cadillac has kind of done this whole styling program where to me, a lot of the cars look like gemstones. You know, kind of large but jaggedy. You know, sharp edges, and I think it's a good look. You know, maybe a little too opulent for my taste, but it's a style if you're into it. In terms of how the car feels really nice. I mean, I wouldn't say sharp like the exterior, but I would say comfortable for sure. Steering isn't tight, but it's not very loose either. It feels pretty good. And in fact, it wasn't until I got back to the hotel and started doing research that I realized this car is actually front-wheel drive. And so was the DeVille, my old grandpa's car. I didn't know that. I thought Cadillacs were all rear-wheel drive and have been forever. But that being said, I couldn't tell it was front-wheel drive. It felt like any normal all-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive car to me. I sure would have felt it if I'd thrown it into some corners and, you know, felt the torque steer, but I didn't track my Cadillac XTS while I was in Florida. The transmission's pretty good also. It's a 6-speed, which is interesting to me, especially with the plethora of ZF 7 and 8 speeds in the industry. But it does okay. It actually does have a manual mode and paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which feels totally bizarre for this car. I don't really think it I don't know. It's a Cadillac XTS with a V6 and a manual sport mode, but it works. Now, moving on to the appearance, I think you'll agree that it's not a bad looking car. I think Cadillac did a really good job with this one. Especially this example in dark metallic gray, it really accents the chrome and brushed aluminum bits. I really like the flowing lines from the headlights, and this same line that they carried up through here, and then they carry on with this crease all the way to the back. It gives the overall appearance of the car a nice, flowing, elegant line, I think. You'll notice what you look at this car predominantly is the headlights. The headlights are very overpowering, and they're really nice. They have this kind of bejeweled LED design, and the LED headlamps as well. And they're very attractive, and they go with the kind of geometric pattern of the grille as well. I guess we'll move on to the interior now. In terms of design, I like this interior quite a lot. It's got this nice combination of black leather, light wood trim, brushed aluminum, and this light beige leather, which I think work really well together. It's kind of like being in a beach house, sort of. It's kind of the feel I get from it. I really like the way it kind of has this waterfall design. It's very symmetrical, and this kind of waterfall V shape is also mimicked in the steering wheel as well. Even the brushed aluminum with the wood on the inside has very much the same shape, which is really attractive. The sound system in this car is excellent. The few days I've had it, I've probably only had it to about 40% volume, and it's really stupid loud. It's a 7-speaker, I think, Bose sound system. There's a subwoofer under the rear window, and it's very bassy. Sound is amazing. It's really, really well done in this car. The sound is controlled through Cadillac's Q system, which I actually had a pretty good experience with. It's really intuitive, not really laggy at all. The touchscreen works as you would expect. It can, you can zoom in on the map and type fairly easily. What I don't enjoy about this interior is the whole touchscreen interface, and I know that's kind of been a harsh critique for a lot of people, and I agree with it. The buttons, they work most of the time, and they're a little bit laggy, but personally I don't like the whole touchscreen interface. I'm a person that has really greasy fingers. I know you probably didn't want to know that, but you do now. And so I leave fingerprints all over this freaking car. And for me, I'm a little OCD when it comes to keeping my interior clean. And if I had to deal with fingerprints all over my entertainment console and my steering wheel all the time, I'd probably lose my mind. So, yeah, I won't be buying a Cadillac XTS for that reason, because I'd probably drive it into a river. That's just me. Yeah, beyond that, the gauge cluster is really nice, really easy to read. I really like this car at night. Everything's kind of lit up white, blue, and red, and it looks really nice. Gauge cluster is easy to read. Everything's where you'd expect it to be. Info's really nice. It gives you average fuel economy, trip, speed, pretty much all the usual stuff gauge clusters give you nowadays. What else? Oh, so my fingers have gummed up the buttons on the dash so much that the volume buttons don't work anymore. So I end up using the actual physical buttons on the steering wheel, which have worked out really nicely. Your cruise control is up here also. That was pretty easy to figure out. And one area where this car really shines, I think, is in interior features. I was really surprised at everything it had, honestly. It's got a heated steering wheel, it's got heated seats, it's got cooling and ventilated seats, heated seats in the rear. It's got a really nice backup camera, parking sensors all around, really bright white LED headlights, automatic windows, up and down, seat memory, garage door buttons. It's really got everything you'd want, I think. Now, to be fair, most of the cars I have ever driven were made in the 20th century. So every time I get in a 21st century vehicle, my head is blown off by everything it can do. But I'm kind of getting a little more used to it. It does have an electronic parking brake. That's probably fine. you know, it's easier to press a button than to lift with your arm, I guess. But it's not like you'll be power sliding your XDS anytime soon anyway, so that doesn't really matter too much. Interior storage is really good. There's cubbies, 2 cup holders for up front, little cubbies in the doors, even under here. I don't know what this is. I think it's a little storage thing. Cool. Yeah, the interior is a really nice place to be. It's really functional. It works. Seems like it'd be easy to clean, which is nice. I mean, I care about that, which you'd have to do a lot with the fingerprint.
Greasy finger.
But yeah, overall, it's a good place to be. One thing I want to talk about is the climate system in this car. It is bravissimo. The automatic, it's dual zone, automatic climate control. It's got me really comfortable. Seems to be really accurate to temperature. It's got me really nice, but man, what I think is just the best is ventilated seats. So normally when you drive around Florida in a leather car, you get swamp back and swamp ass. But in here you get breeze back and breeze ass, and it's so nice. Oh my god, no more sweaty nonsense going on back here. It's just it's just really nice. Overall, I really enjoyed my time with the Cadillac XDS. It kept me cool and comfortable in the hot Florida climate. It let me enjoy some bangers on the radio. It drove me to Taco Bell. Sure, I left some fingerprints on the infotainment, but it in turn left an impression on me. Driving with some tunes on and the windows down, I felt at home in this modern Caddy. I hope this video was enjoyable. I really enjoyed making it. If you liked it, please hit that like button, or subscribe if you're feeling it. Any feedback at all would be much appreciated.